I'm Caitriona Perry in Washington, and this is BBC World News America. US President Joe Biden marks the anniversary of January 6th with a speech about democracy. Israel's defense minister unveils a proposal for Gaza after the war, as the UN humanitarian chief warns the strip is becoming uninhabitable. Accusations of a violent crackdown ahead of Bangladesh's election, the vote that will further test the country's democracy. Hello and welcome to World News America. I'm Caitriona Perry. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Turkey, the first leg of a regional tour that will see him visit Israel and several other Arab nations. The State Department says the trip is meant to stress the need to increase humanitarian aid to Gaza and ensure the people there are not forcibly displaced from the territory. Mr. Blinken's visit comes after the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant outlined proposals for the future governance of Gaza once the war is over. Under Yoav Gallant's so-called four-corner proposals, Hamas would no longer control Gaza and Israel would retain overall security control. A multinational force would take charge of rebuilding the territory. Egypt would also have a role, but Mr. Gallant did not expand on just what that might look like. He also said that Palestinians would be responsible for running the territory, but it's not clear which body would be in charge. Wira Davis is in Jerusalem with more now on the proposed future governance in Gaza. US President Joe Biden delivered his first speech of the 2024 election season, attempting to paint it as a battle for the future of democracy. He gave this speech at Valley Forge in Pennsylvania, a historic site in America's War of Independence. The speech came on the eve of the 3-year anniversary of the insurrection at the US Capitol, where supporters of former President Donald Trump attempted to stop Congress certifying the 2020 election results. Our North America correspondent Gary O'Donoghue was at that speech, and he joins me now from Pennsylvania. Gary, this was the first major speech of Joe Biden's campaign. What did we learn about his platform? OK, thanks for that, Gary. The US government is working to assess what intelligence material was compromised after a former US ambassador to Bolivia was arrested last month. He's accused of acting as a Cuban spy for more than 40 years while at the State Department. Manuel Rocha was secretly recorded by an undercover officer describing the US as the enemy and boasting about his decades-long double life as a Cuban agent. Our correspondent Will Grant sent this report from Havana. Paralympian Oscar Pistorius has been freed on parole from prison in South Africa nearly 11 years after murdering his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp. Pistorius shot Miss Steenkamp on Valentine's Day 2013, claiming he mistook her for a burglar at their home. Pistorius served just over half of his jail sentence for a crime and a trial that gripped international audiences. Voters go to the polls in Bangladesh this weekend, where the incumbent Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who has been in power since 2009, is expected to win a 4th term. That's thanks in no small part to a boycott by the main opposition party, who've accused the government of violently cracking down on anyone who speaks out against them. Samira Hussain reports. Now, before we go, what are the colours you think of when you imagine Neptune and Uranus? New research from UK astronomers tell us that our idea of these planets might be slightly wrong. Images from a space mission in the 1980s showed Neptune to be a rich blue and Uranus green. But a study reveals that 2 ice giant planets are both similar shades of greenish blue. But there are some small differences. Neptune has a slight hint of additional blue, while Uranus appears a little greener during its summer and winter. That's when one of its poles is pointed towards the sun. But during spring and autumn, when the sun is over the equator, it has a bluer tinge. Now, remember, you can always find out more about all of the day's news at our website, bbc.com/news, and you can see what we're working on at any time by checking us out on your favourite social media platform. That's it for the moment. I'm Caitriona Perry. Thank you for watching World News America. Do take care. Bye.
Hello, thanks for joining me. Let's see what's happening on the weather fronts.